Welcome into Onorato Company, and we are live at Alpin Haus. Boat, RV, ski, they've got it all here in Amsterdam along Route 30. It's Chris Onorato. It's Ashley Miller. We'll give you another look here at exactly where we are, and I'm aboard a beautiful
We're on a boat,
a Barletta party boat. Absolutely awesome, Ash. It's good to be back with our people here at Alpin Haus. How are you?
Good. How are you? There's plenty of country songs written about being on a boat, and now we're on a boat, and it's March 31st as we go live on social media today.
Yeah, are there any songs about working on a boat?
No, I don't think there are those.
We're missing some of the elements, but I'm telling you, we're getting enough of the experience here on this beautiful Barletta that you need to come check out this boat or the fleet of boats that they have here in the parking lot ready to go. We will take you around here a little bit as we get you ready for the Final Four on Onorato & Company. We've got a great conversation still ahead to go with a boxer from Ukraine who's going to fight in the title bout at Rivers Casino on Saturday, April 9th. I mean, I was blown away by this guy, Lyubomyr Pinchuk. You do not want to miss that. That's going to come up here in about 10 minutes or so. We're going to talk with the Indiana cheerleader, Cassidy Cerny, who rescued that game between Indiana and St. Mary's. We've got her ahead on the show, as well as the Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute. Let's get it going here live from Alpin Haus in Amsterdam.
This is Onorato & Company, brought to you by Alpin Haus.
And we are on an incredible boat here again, the Barletta, and I'll give you a little bit of a look at it here in a second. But Ash, let's get into the discussion, which of course is the Final Four. And every single week here on Onorato and Bagnardi in the month of March, we've been giving you the Onorato & Company bracket challenge and bracket breakdown presented by Pick Six Vodka.
And now, the Onorato & Company Bracket Challenge, presented by Pick Six Vodka.
All right, Ash, everybody always says, how's your bracket looking? Mine, not so good. Kansas. That's it for me in the Final Four. I had 11 of the Sweet 16, and I'm down to one Final Four team.
We were both in pretty good shape in our brackets. I had 10 of the Sweet 16, which isn't so bad. I also am down to one of the Final Four, and Kansas is also my one, so we are in very similar shape.
Okay, well, would you pick Kansas to win it this weekend if that's in fact what we kind of think will happen here as we give you a look at the Final Four between Duke and North Carolina, first time ever, and Villanova and Kansas on the other side of the bracket. Nova and Kansas is the early game, and then we finally get Blue Devils and Tar Heels, again, the first time ever in an NCAA tournament. Let's talk about that first one, though, because we both have Kansas alive. Are you taking the Jayhawks here to get past the Wildcats?
I'm taking the Jayhawks to get past the Wildcats. Listen, they've run into enough problems, but they've always seemed to respond, especially in the second half when they've been in trouble. The Jayhawks have responded in a big way. We've talked a lot about the injury to Justin Moore on the Villanova side. That's already a team that's not very deep. They go 5 or 6 guys, and to lose a starter to a torn Achilles with Justin Moore, I think if you're the Jayhawks and you're Bill Self, you are going to go at the Wildcats early, try to get them in foul trouble, because as we know, there aren't a ton of guys who contribute off the bench for that team. So I'm going to go Jayhawks in this matchup.
And to cover?
To cover, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on Kansas here too, and I'm on Kansas to cover. I think they'll have a big second half. Look, a guy like Colin Gillespie is going to do everything in his power to keep this game close for Villanova. But at the end of the day, I just think you mentioned some of them. I mean, Abaji and McCormick and Remy Martin. To me, there's just Kansas is too deep. You talked about the lack of depth for Villanova. Give me Kansas, because with a guy like Remy Martin coming off the bench for Bill Self, that's a big deal. So I like Kansas as a 1 seed, and the only 1 seed to get this far in this tournament, to get by Villanova.
Yeah, and listen, the Wildcats are a team that, at least in the most recent past, have more of that national championship experience. Titles in 2016, titles in 2018. Now, those guys weren't a part of that. It's 2022. But still, this is a team that's been in the conversation for Final Four and national title a lot in the last few years.
Yep.
I just don't think that it's going to matter in this case. This is a team that's kind of different than those Villanova teams of the past that we've seen. Those Villanova teams could score at will. This Villanova team isn't quite the offensive juggernaut that we've seen. They've been really good defensively in this tournament, which is also pretty different from the Villanova teams of the past. The last 8 games, Chris, they've given up 56.5 points per game. I don't think you're going to do that to Kansas, but if you do, the Wildcats win.
I think if you keep Kansas below 65,
Yep.
you got a real chance to win this game. The Jayhawks will play in the 70s. Okay, so I'm hearing you say Kansas and to cover,
Kansas
but
to cover.
maybe not the over. Maybe not the over. We'll see,
Yeah.
because look, Kansas, look at what they did in the second half against that Miami team. I mean, that's maybe the best defensive effort of the entire tournament, what Kansas did there.
Yeah, what they hold them to 15 points or something
14
like that?
points,
14
yeah.
points.
So
I mean,
maybe we're feeling the under here, and I hadn't really considered that as part of our conversation here. Are we going over or under? But maybe you tell me Villanova's this good defensively, and I'm telling you what Kansas is coming off in terms of the second half against Miami defensively. Okay, maybe this is a game in the low 60s. I don't know. We'll see.
yeah, I'm not sure either. I was kind of giving you a scenario of like, this is what Villanova has to do to win. I'm not sure that Villanova does win, but yeah, I think that's what Villanova has to do. And Kansas has had issues guarding and defending like a slashing type of guard. So if Villanova can take advantage of that and play well defensively, which they have, I think they'll be okay. But Kansas, you talk about holding them under 65. You think they win. The last 16 of the last 18 games, they've scored 70 or more.
Yeah.
So that is, you say that, but that task is a whole lot taller than I think people realize.
All right, bringing the numbers here. I like that. You see the road here to the Final Four for each of these teams involved this weekend. Kansas beating Miami in the Elite Eight. Villanova getting by Houston in the Elite Eight. It's Chris Onorato. It's Ashley Miller on Onorato and Company here, live from Alpin Haus boat.
We're on a boat.
Amsterdam. We are actually on a boat.
There is no sun. There are no adult beverages.
No.
But we're on a boat.
But there are some beautiful boats here at Alpin Haus, right along Route 30. And we love being partnered up with Andy Heck and Katie Osborne, the great people here at Alpin Haus.
This is the boat we're on.
This is the boat. It's the Barletta. And we're calling it like a party barge, pretty much.
It's a pontoon.
It's monstrous.
It's a big pontoon boat.
Yeah.
You could fit a whole lot. We could bring all of our friends on this thing.
There's more room on this boat than any of you out there have friends to fill it. I'll tell you that much.
Well, then we have friends to fill it. That's for sure.
At least people that you'd want to spend a good amount of time with. That's for
we
sure.
Got
and
jet
again,
skis.
yes,
They've got it all.
Here. Yeah, come on down. And if we've learned anything in the last 2 years, it's a way to maximize our time with friends and family outdoors. Nobody does it better than Alpin Haus. So
Absolutely.
Come on by and check out their selection of boats, jet skis. You heard Ash say it. And we'll show you around the showroom here a little bit as we continue with the show. The other side of the bracket, though, of course, is Duke and North Carolina for the very first time
Unbelievable.
in the NCAA tournament. And, of course, it would come in the final season of 42 with Mike Krzyzewski on the bench for Duke. I say it all the time. Sports is the truest and best form of reality TV, and this is just further proof of that they've never met in the tournament before, and so, of course, it happens in Coach K's final season.
I mean, these schools are separated by miles, several miles. They've played hundreds of times in the regular season, in the ACC tournament, And it's just hard to believe. I've heard it before, and it's always hard for me to believe that until now, in the Final Four of this tournament, in Coach K's last season, that these two teams have never played before in the NCAA tournament. But listen, this is a ratings dream. We had all of the great stories, the double-digit seeds, St. Peter's, but these are the teams, Duke and North Carolina and Kansas and Villanova, these are the teams that the big wigs want in this Final Four, because this is what's going to draw.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. All right, our guy Jay Pulaski's watching. Good morning, Onoratos. Yes. Carol, good morning to you as well. If you're watching us live, you find us every week on the News Channel 13 Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages on Thursdays. If you're watching us on TV, you've got us on My 4 Saturday nights. All right, so this is the game that a lot of people have kind of wanted, even if they don't want to admit it, Ash, right? There are Carolina and Duke haters out there that say, I don't want to see these two teams in the Final Four. And I largely feel that way. But if you can make it a matchup, a head-to-head matchup, I'll take it every day of the week. Duke gets blown out in that final game at Cameron Indoor for Coach K's career by North Carolina. This is the time, and I believe Saturday night at 8:49 will be when Duke gets its payback. That 4, it feels a little, but I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to give the points to Carolina here. I'm going to lean on this Duke team that I believe is more talented, maybe even just slightly. But beyond that, out for some payback here, knowing their guy, Coach K, is ready to ride off into the sunset, knowing that ultimate bragging rights come with this game. So I'm on Duke to win and cover.
I think that game back on March 5th at Cameron Indoor is the X factor for me. Listen, if I had to pick two teams playing the best basketball of the tournament right now, it's going to be Kansas and it's going to be UNC. It's not going to be Duke. And yet, at the end of the day, I'm still going to go with Duke. I don't know that I'm going to take them to cover. I think it's going to be a last shot kind of game. I hope it's a last shot kind of game. But I think that those players probably felt so bad. I mean, Coach K came out on the court and apologized at the end of that game for how poorly his team played. And you have to believe that that affected those players. They feel this responsibility to send their coach out, an all-time great, a Hall of Famer, the greatest coach in the history of Duke basketball, send him out with the dream. The way you want to end every career, every storybook with a win, not many people get to do that. So to give him a national title, to get him to the national title game in his final season, I think they're going to take this very personally. And that, for me, is what makes the difference. Forget the players on the floor. This is just a good old-fashioned hatred-on-hatred rivalry. I'm going to take Duke. I don't know that I take them to cover, but I'm going to take them to win.
All right, Sam's watching. He's rooting for a Duke-Villanova final. Also, shout out, Ash, to the show that you did on Wednesday night and now Thursday morning. A quick back-to-back here. Athletes complain about back-to-backs all the time, but you're not afraid of doing it as you do it here. All right, when we come back here on Onorato and Bagnardi, so we've settled here that, Ash, you like Duke and Kansas. And I like Duke and Kansas.
Yep. So it won't be.
So guess what will happen? Yeah.
UNC and Villanova.
We learned anything here on Onorato and Company. It's that go against, fade our picks and bets.
Don't listen to us.
Out in Vegas. All right. I'm so pumped for the conversation we have coming up here. And it's one that I was able to record on Wednesday of this week with a boxer from Ukraine.
Really cool
stuff. Coming to Schenectady to fight at Rivers Casino. First time they've had boxing now in 5 years at Rivers Casino in Schenectady. And the main event includes Lyubomyr Pinchuk from Lviv, Ukraine. His perspective on what is going on right now between Russia and his home nation, you do not want to miss this. Believe me, the conversation is coming up next right here on Onorato and Company.
Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on. For cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair, you can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, Genair, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Happiness is found in simple things. The sun on your face, sharing laughs, at the campground, getting wet, relaxing together, the love of family. There's never been a better time to go outside and play. Alpin Haus Pool Spa Boat and RV, bringing families together and creating memories since 1964.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpin Haus.
That'll get you fired up for the first boxing event at Rivers Casino since 2017. And we've got the main guy in the main event right here on Onorato and Company on the News Channel 13 Facebook, Twitter, YouTube pages. You're watching us on My 4 as well. And let's bring him into the conversation here. Lyubomyr Pinchuk, who's getting ready to go at Rivers Casino in Schenectady on Saturday, April 9th. Lyubomyr, it's great to see you. Thanks for doing the show. And I can imagine you're probably primed and ready to go after your last fight, which was in January, right?
Yeah. First of all, hello to everyone, and thank you for having me. And yeah, like you said, it's been not that long, so I just need a couple weeks to recover because I had a cut in my eye, but it's healing well, so I'm all fully to go.
Good for you.
Excited for this one.
Listen, I know you're in Pittsburgh now, but you were born in Ukraine. I hope that through everything that's going on, you feel the support of America and the states where you now call home. Tell us, if you would, just a little bit about what's going on back in your home town of Lviv and where your family still is and where you still have friends.
Well, so I'm originally from Ukraine, from a city called Lviv. It's like right next to the Poland. So for now, I guess it's like safest city in Ukraine because that's where most of the people, refugees, run into. Like I talked to my friend a couple of days ago, and he said we have like 400,000 people moved to Lviv. Well, yeah, people running wherever they can go. I can't even tell you how many people run to Poland. But well, it's not too bad. But like my mom sent me pictures a couple of days ago, like everything on the fire and smoke. It looked like a couple of streets up, but it was actually airport, so it was like 2.5 miles away from my home. So it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I didn't know what in head of all of those people who started it.
Are they scared? Are you scared? I mean, it's been going on for more than a month now. Is it unfortunately becoming common?
Well, I guess the way I see it, I don't think it's gonna stop because Putin is a crazy man, and I don't think he is willing to stop, and I don't think he's willing to accept that he's losing a war. Which is, for now, he's losing a war. He have a lot of losses. He have losses in all of his like equipment, and he have losses in all of his people. So I think he's gonna go to the very end until at least someone will want to stop him. So.
Okay, let me ask you one more thing, and then we will get to boxing here. But This is what has fascinated me so much about your home country and the people living there. You would never see this in America, where everybody is ready to take up arms and to fight. You would never see a former boxing heavyweight champion, now a mayor, ready to fight among trained forces. What is it about the Ukrainian people? Obviously, there's a ton of pride, but what is it about your people, Lyubomyr, that just you're probably not surprised by this?
Not at all. Not at all. Like you said, it's a ton of pride and toughness, and people just don't want to give up what belongs to them because we're independent country, Ukraine. Ukraine is a country. Everyone know about Ukraine more than they know about Russia. That's it. So we just want to live our own life. Like, not Ukraine started the war. Russia entered Ukraine and they trying to take our land. Like, we just fighting back. We're not going to their country and their territory, to their land, and trying to like kill their people. If you read the news, you see what Ukraine just protecting themselves. If Russian come closer to us, so we fighting back. If they not do anything, not move, so we just stand in the same positions. And it is very impressive about Klitschko. Yeah, he's a mayor of Kiev, and he's still staying until the last one. But what is even more impressive, Vladimir Klitschko, if I'm not wrong, he was living somewhere here in US, and he specially flew back to Ukraine. He's like, no, I'm from Ukraine. I'm Ukrainian. I have a little daughter, so I want to protect my country in case she want to go and live in it.
And not enough can be
No,
said
it's
about
amazing. It's amazing. Like they like true champions, true heroes, in the ring and outside of the ring.
Yeah, and not enough can be said about your president Zelensky either. What
Hey,
he,
to be honest,
willing to
no one ever expected stuff like that from him neither. I remember when people choose him, I already was here, but no one was happy because he's like ex-comedian and stuff. But
right.
hey, he's living like a normal human, like a simple man from a street. Like, Biden offered him, he's like, yeah, I can transport you here to US. He's like, I don't need a ride, I need equipment. Yeah, he's the man. He's the man.
Yeah, very cool. Well, we are thinking of you, and we are thinking of everybody back in your home country as well. And I do hope that you feel that as you now live in the States. All right, 25 years old. You've got a belt. You're putting it on the line Saturday night, April 9th at Rivers Casino. Talk to me a little bit about how quickly you've been able to get ready for this fight. As we said, you just won recently in January, and kind of what type of fight you're preparing for.
Well, like you said, I had a fight in January, so I took like 2-3 weeks off after a January fight, and then after it, I was straight back to the gym, and I felt couple days after it that I'm in shape. I had a couple good sparrings, and I'm all good to go. And honestly, what can I expect from Federici? I think he's very basic. He's very basic. He's a little bit shorter, so I think that he'll try to outbox me from the very beginning. But then, which is I'm pretty sure that he's not gonna be able to do that. He's just gonna come straight open to me, and we'll see. We're gonna go. Well, I'm preparing myself for a tough fight, but we'll see how it's gonna be. If I'll have a chance to end the fight before then go do whole distance, so I'll do it.
Yeah, you're a beast, man. I was watching videos of yours at 6'3", cruiserweight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Not easy to handle somebody like you in a ring at 14-2-1, and 8 of those knockouts, like you said, you'd be going for at Rivers Casino in the main event. What got you into boxing initially? I know you had great success in Ukraine as a two-time national champion. You were part of the national team. What initially got you into this sport?
My dad was a big fan of boxing. He never had to do anything with boxing. He never done it by himself. But like we talk about Klitschko brothers. So when I was growing up, I was like a little kid. Also, I was a very chubby kid, so maybe that's why. Everyone was making fun of me, because I was kind of big. And my dad was always watching the boxing, and one day I was like, you know what, I want to be like them. I want to go to a gym. And he's like, I know where there's a boxing gym at, but I don't think you want to do it. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I don't think you can take it. You'll have to train hard and do stuff. I was like, well, I was like, yeah, I'll do it. But my dad did warn me before. He's like, if you really want to do it, if you want me to send you to a gym, so you'll have to go all the way to the very end. I was like, okay, so yeah, sure, whatever. Back then I didn't know what's gonna happen, and after like a couple trainings, I was like, yeah, you know what, Dad, I didn't want to do that. It's like too late. Yeah, there is no way back now. And then as soon as I started to have some amateur fights and a couple of wins, I started liking it, and then that's how all this began.
Tickets are available. Go to riverscasino.com/Schenectady. It's a star boxing event. that's going on at Rivers Casino on Saturday, April 9th. And Lyubomyr Pinchuk is our guest here on Onorato and Company. All right, so you survived that kind of initiation into the sport. Then you become a national champion. And I read that you felt like you had to move to the States in order to really, I don't know, step up your game or achieve the level of success you wanted. Take me a little bit behind that decision.
Well, as every amateur, my goal was to go to Olympic and have a Olympic gold medal. I didn't have a chance made in 2016. I was too young. I was like 19 years old, and I was not strong enough to, especially being a cruiserweight. An amateur, it's like a first heavyweight, not a super heavy, just a heavyweight. I was not strong. I was too young and like not fully built yet. And I had a bad year. Like I had a couple losses. I didn't do anything like major in the national championship, and I was like, yeah, I probably should do something, because I didn't think that I want to wait until 2020. Like I didn't want to waste another 4 years, and there is a chance I'm going to make it. And I just started looking for something different, and my dream was always turn professional. Like I said, I always wanted to be like a Klitschko brothers. So I started looking for it, and here I am in Pittsburgh.
250 amateur fights. 250. I mean, that number is astounding to me. Is that normal in Ukraine?
Can you imagine how many punches it is to my head? yeah, but it is very normal. Yeah, we have a lot of fights. Yeah, like sometimes in 1 week, not like every week, but when you have like some major like national tournament, so you can have 5 fights. 5 fights in 1 week. Yeah.
Wow.
Like if you have a very busy year, so you can have like a 40, maybe 50 fights a year.
That's a career in the United States. Yeah.
No, it's not, everything is a little bit softer here. Maybe smarter, but I would say softer.
I like that, man. You're not going to offend me, believe me. You punched me right through this screen. I'm
not trying to offend no one. I'm just telling it through, That's it.
Hey, look, I was the first one who said there's no way you'd see Americans taking up arms the way they are in Ukraine right now. Yeah. What do your parents think of you and the success you've had in this sport that you, as you said, after 2 training sessions, you were ready to quit?
Well, my mom is not very excited about everything what I do, because I'm taking punches to my head, so she's not a big supporter in boxing. But my dad is always supporting me, and he's happy with what I'm doing. But it's not end yet, I still have a long way to go. Like I have this like NABA gold belt, but I'm not considering like something major. So if I'll have a world title, yeah, that's already going to be some sort of success.
Yeah, I would say so. You're doing okay, man, at 25 years old. The Demolition Man is your nickname. Where does that come from?
So when I get here to Pittsburgh, I had my first sparring session. And it was 2 guys. One of them was not that good. He was like, they asked me to work with him on my just left hand. That's it. And another one was he was a pro. He was 16-2, maybe 16-3. So he was decent, but not what I expected to be for 16-3. So he was basically, I just step in, and I have to show what I can, because I wanted to stay here, and I want them to be people being interested in me and see like my full potential. And I just destroyed him, man. And after, my coach was like, you know what, we're gonna call you Demolition Man after. Like, okay, yeah, sure. And then they just stick with me. People started calling me Demolition Man, and I guess it's gonna stay with me until the end of my career.
Yeah, that's not a bad nickname to have. Let me throw this back up here one more time. Check him out on Instagram, where he's going to post pictures and videos of training and fights and stuff like that. All you have to do is put an underscore between Lyubomyr and Pinchuk, our guest here. Lyubomyr, man, I'm fired up for this night for you. I can only imagine the people who are going to show up with the blue and the yellow in support of you and Ukraine that night. It may be a wild scene in Schenectady. So I hope it is all that I'm building it up to be. And I know you will put on a show for the crowd. riverscasino.com/Schenectady is the quickest way to get tickets to this event, man. Lyubomyr, good luck, dude. Good luck on Saturday, April 9th. And thank you for taking the time here, and our best wishes to you and your family.
Hey, thank you. Thank you a lot. Thank you for everything. Thank you for having me. Thank you for all the wishes. I appreciate it. Thank you.
teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
And now back to Onorato and Company. Brought to you by Alpin Haus.
Just had a great visit with Andy Heck, one of the owners here at Alpin Haus, and so thankful for his support, his partnership of the show on Onorato and Company, and everything we've been able to do in the last almost year. So almost been going at this for a year, and we'll bring Ash back in here as she is now on the floor.
I'm wandering around.
I'm still in the boat. But Ash is now on the floor, and she'll give us a little bit of a
I'm just going to show
Go
some
ahead.
things off here a little bit. If you can see, we got boats. Just going to walk you around. I mean, we got canoes. There's a canoes, kayaks. Yep, canoes. Yep. We've got ATVs, jet skis, and then here's a wide shot of the boat that Chris is on. There's Chris up there.
I'm busy working.
Yeah, he's working. So yeah, beautiful place, beautiful boats. Come check out the Barletta. We'll join you. If you want to buy the Barletta, we'll come visit you during the summer.
Yeah.
We're happy to jump on the boat and party with you.
Yeah, we would absolutely do that. All right, Ash, well, you get set back up here on the Barletta, as you mentioned. Let me get into my Popeyes Louisiana Fast Minute. And what a bizarre off season it has been already for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we haven't even reached the draft. Tom Brady retires, and 40 days later, unretires. A few weeks after that, he has a head coaching change. Bruce Arians resigns. He's going to take a front office position, and all the speculation is, was this something that Brady wanted? That when he told the Bucs, I will come back, but I don't want Bruce Arians around anymore. Could he have really done something like? I say no. I really think that Bruce Arians might have looked at it and said, you know what? I've got an opportunity to move into the front office. I'm going to do exactly that. And I'm still not convinced that Tom Brady is going to stay in Tampa Bay. So I'm not buying that Brady made this part of the deal. I come back, you change head coaches. What a weird offseason right now for the Tampa Bay Bucs. Todd Bowles, oh, by the way, will be the head coach.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it just feels shady to me. It feels so strange. It feels like he's pulling all the strings and they're doing things because he's Tom Brady. But listen, I think the Bucs did the right thing, and we talked about, they could have just released him or let him go, and then he would have signed with another team. So at least they forced him to come back to Tampa and play under whomever. It'll end up being Todd Bowles. I love Todd Bowles. I'm glad he's getting another shot as a head coach, but we'll see how it goes.
And actually, our buddy Joel agrees with you. He says Todd Bowles deserves a second chance. Time with the Jets, yeah, not super pretty. He did have a 10-6 season in there, but yeah, not the absolute best. But tell me the last head coach that had great success with the New York Jets. Haven't been many of them. All right, Ash. I know we've got a guest waiting here, and that is Cassidy Cerny, who saved the day and had that one shining moment in the first round of the NCAA tournament. But before we bring her on, Ash, it is your chance here now for the Popeyes.
Can you hear me? I want to make sure you can hear me.
Louisiana Fast Minute. Here we go. You're on the clock.
I'm on the clock, and this is about NFL overtime. Listen, everybody got so bent out of shape, and I'm not going to say I got bent out of shape. I didn't want anyone to lose that game. That game was so good. The Bills-Chiefs game, last year's playoffs, was so good. An offensive shootout, two quarterbacks, neither one deserved to lose. But at the end of the day, somebody lost. It was the Bills. They lost the coin toss. Chiefs march it down the field on the first possession of the game, score a touchdown, game over. Okay, that's how it's been, though. These are the rules. Well, now the NFL is changing the rules, at least for this season. Only for the postseason, both teams will get a possession. If it's still tied after the first possession, okay, then it's sudden death after that. Feels like a knee-jerk reaction to me, but also if you're going to institute a rule, institute it for the entire regular season and postseason. Don't change the rules for just the postseason. I don't know of any other sport that I can think of where you have a rule that's just just the regular season or just the postseason. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and I'm with you. It was knee-jerk reaction for sure. The percentages to me were not so overwhelming.
Right.
7 of 12 postseason overtime games ended after the first possession.
Yep.
So it's more than half. I get it. But I like Mike Tomlin's approach. He goes, I'm old school. You got opportunities during regulation to win the game, or you've got an opportunity in overtime to go play some defense and to win the game there. So I'm with Tomlin on this one, Ash. I'm with you on this one as well. All right, we'll take a quick time out here on Onorato and Company. When we come back, our second guest to the show, and she was the star of the first round of the NCAA tournament, and people are still talking about it. We had Andrew Catalan on the show last week, and he talked about his experience and his call of that, which has now turned into a T-shirt and a sweatshirt with breaking T. And I love the age of NIL, especially for an opportunity like a cheerleader. It's awesome. Stick around. We're back in less than 30 seconds here on Onorato and Company.
Happiness is found in simple things. The sun on your face, sharing laughs, at the campground, getting wet, relaxing together, the love of family. There's never been a better time to go outside and play. Alpin Haus Pool Spa Boat and RV, bringing families together and creating memories since 1964.
And now back to Onorato and Company, brought to you by Alpin Haus.
Major issues here in Portland. Why don't the cheerleaders, they're used to going up high. Yes, get the cheerleader up. Get her up there. This is how you do it. Oh, she's got it. Oh, what a play. The cheerleader saves the day. And that's her one shining moment.
I don't get tired of hearing that call. I can't imagine our guest ever will get tired of hearing that call either. Ash, let's bring Cassidy Cerny into the conversation here, the cheerleader who did indeed save the day in Portland. And Cassidy, that is our buddy, Andrew Catalan, who we've worked with before his days with CBS calling NCAA tournament games. And I love that he just, I think, captured it perfectly. When was the first time you actually heard that call?
Probably about like 20 minutes after the game. I didn't even know that it was on TV, let alone what the announcer was saying. I just heard what was going on in the arena. So after I heard that, I was like, that made my moment like 10 times better.
It's funny, Cassidy. I was talking to Megan, who put us in contact with you, and she said that you guys were so pumped up after you heard the call, and you were like, you know what, that took it even to the next level, and that's kind of what made it really, really good. Well, is that something that you guys talked about? Just like the fact that he was into it made us even more into it.
Yeah, we both watched it at the same time together, and we like listening to it with our team too was on the bus with us when we were watching it. We were all like, that made it so much better.
Yeah.
For sure.
What how did your Instagram following change after that moment?
Oh boy. A lot. I was at like 1,000 followers, and now I'm at almost 5,000 followers.
Wow.
It keeps going up too. I thought it would have stopped by now just because it's happened a bit ago, but it keeps going.
Well, we're showing it on screen right there. Cassidy with 2 Ys. All right. How come it was you? How did it end up that you were the one that got to go after the basketball when it could have been one of your teammates, I imagine, who would have been in a lift as well, no?
Yeah, it could have been anyone else. Me and Nathan were super close to the basket already. And when I am out on like game day, I am a different person. I'm so like excited, over the top, adrenaline. And I remember seeing that ball get stuck and I was just up and ready to go. And I was like, somebody put me up, like I'm ready to do this. And I remember a lot of the girls, like, it's a joke a lot of the time for us, and nobody actually thought that was gonna happen. I was joking too, honestly, just being like, somebody put me up as a joke, but it actually happened that time.
Cassidy, listen, you're on Onorato and Company in Albany, New York, but I know that this is the least of your appearances. We've seen you on Kelly Clarkson, which is also on News Channel 13 here in Albany. What have the last 2 weeks or so been like for you guys?
A lot of things have changed for sure. Mainly in our social media life. In person, a lot of it has been the same. I'm normally a very quiet person in like my classes and stuff, and that's definitely stayed the same. But yeah, it's been a lot of adding interviews in between classes and meeting with different people after our school's done for the day, and then going straight to practice after that, or doing an interview in between practice and stuff.
I mentioned the T-shirt from Breaking T. It's a variation of an Indiana red, and it's got the image of you rescuing the basketball, and it says "The cheerleader saves the day." Did you have to give them the okay for your image ahead of that? And how quickly did those conversations happen after the game?
Yeah, I did have to give them the okay for that image. It happened, I believe they reached out to me on Friday, and then sent over a contract the following Saturday and wanted it up by the week of Sweet 16. So as soon as possible, so they could start getting that sold, and it happened.
And how's it going?
It's been going really well. The sales have actually been absolutely insane, like better than I would have thought it would be. I don't know. It's been so weird having people like DM me and be like, "I just bought your shirt." I'm like, oh my God, it's so weird.
I hope
it's so cool.
I hope all your family and friends have them, right?
Yes, they do.
Perfect. Cassidy, listen, the NCAA tournament, so much of the focus is on basketball. And I think part of the thing that made this moment really special was that it was all everyone was talking about, but it really had nothing to do with the game on the floor. And it shined a light on the cheerleaders for once. And you guys don't always get a lot of love. Have you heard from other cheerleaders around? And what does it mean to just be kind of the representative for the sport on a big stage?
Yes, I have heard a lot from other different programs and just individual cheerleaders as well, whether it be like, I do summer camps with UCA over the summer, so I've had a lot of those campers reach out to me and be like, they saw me on TV, it was super cool, and then they're like telling their friends they already know me. And like past all-star cheerleaders as well reach out to me. It's been very overwhelming, just because in the cheer world, that skill is something that we do all the time, but at the same time, especially for game day and college cheerleaders, we don't get that kind of recognition ever. And it's been super cool to be able to have people reach out to me and be like, you actually like brought a lot of representation to not only game day cheer, but college cheer especially too. And now at this point, it's showing like a lot of people that we do more than just rescue a basketball or cheer on the sidelines and stuff. And yeah, it's been super cool, and I've been very blessed to be able to be that person for a lot of different programs, in my program especially.
I think it's so cool that you were thinking, hey, get me up there before anybody told you to. And that our buddy Andrew was like, hey, get her
a cheerleader up there
before anybody thought to. Yeah. So as you saw a couple rounds later, Arkansas was quick to do it too. This will be the new way now. You have already established the trend and the method of getting the ball down from the backboard. Really, really cool. Ash, anything else?
No, we're so happy for you. I think it's really, really cool. I'm an athlete, and I love that we're shining the light on cheerleaders and other females. Obviously, Nathan was a part of that too, but we love shining the light on great stories, and you have a great story. So congratulations. Enjoy the ride. And we hope you sell a whole lot of T-shirts.
Thank you so much.
All right, Cassidy, thank you. And yeah, go check out those T-shirts, breakingt.com. There are hoodies too. I saw Andrew tweet, hey, I wouldn't mind a hoodie if somebody was going to hook me up.
Maybe
I don't know if that's happened or not, but yeah. Our thanks to Cassidy Cerny from campus in Bloomington, Indiana, here on Onorato
Working us
and
into
Company.
her class schedule, in between her class and practice schedule. So thank you very much to her.
Yeah, that was cool. Thanks for hooking that up, Ash. All
that
right,
was my mom's idea.
There you go.
So credit to Mom.
Jacqueline Miller all over it. Okay, Ash, let's go back to the Final Four that we've got here, and I'll throw up the bracket one more time to show everybody the road that got us here. And look, as much respect as I have for a guy like Jay Wright and Bill Self, and there's a lot of conversation out there about, can you imagine if the NCAA has to hand over a national championship trophy to Bill Self, given all that's going on with the Jayhawks program? It's the other side of the bracket that I think everybody will be focused on here. I hope I can stay awake for it personally. 8:49 on a Saturday night, given my schedule, will be a challenge. But Duke and Carolina, Coach K's final year, Hubert Davis first year. I mean, absolute opposite ends of the spectrum in regard to that. Carolina's an 8 seed. They're not supposed to be here. I had them in my bracket to beat Baylor, but then I had them losing to UCLA in the next round. So the Tar Heels were not expected to be here, but they went through the 1, they went through the 4. Now, they didn't have to beat the 3 because hello, St. Peter's, and we'll talk about Shaheen Holloway in a second here. But what in this matchup, Ash, for you, do you think will be the difference?
Listen, I think we've talked about how important UNC's guard play is with RJ Davis and Caleb Love, both of whom have been fantastic in the postseason in the NCAA tournament. But for me, it feels like Duke is a little bit of an offensive juggernaut right now, hard to stop. They've scored 78 points or more in 9 of their last 10 games. That's really good. If they score 78 plus in this game, I think they're going to win. They're number 1 overall in adjusted offensive efficiency. Where they lack is on the defensive end, number 45 in adjusted defensive efficiency. So I think that's going to be the difference. Can they guard? Can they control what UNC does well? Because we've talked about the quartet that the Tar Heels have. Manic, Baycott inside. Those guys are big. They bring down a lot of rebounds, and they score a lot around the bucket. So
it's going to be that.
Still picking Duke.
Yeah, it's going to be that matchup of guards, right? We talk about all the time in this NCAA tournament. So it's going to be Roach and Love that I'll be keyed in on. And then I'm with you. Can Duke keep Baycott off the boards? He had 20 and 22 in the Elite 8 game. And I get it. That's St. Peter's. Duke is a totally different beast. But Baycott now, with those numbers, 20 points, 22 rebounds in the Elite 8 game, the last guy to go 20-20 in the Elite 8 or later, 1983, Akeem Olajuwon in the Final Four. It had been a very long time since somebody in college basketball deep in the NCAA tournament went 20 and 20. Duke's different than St. Peter's. I get it. But Baycott could create some real issues for this Duke team. If they're able to block him out and they can neutralize Love a little bit, guys we haven't even talked about yet, like Banchero, are going to make a huge difference in this game. He looks like somebody who's on a little bit of a mission here, knowing he's a lottery pick, knowing he's a top 3, top 5 at the very least pick in the upcoming NBA draft. He's out for a title, and he's been more aggressive taking the ball to the basket, which I've been really impressed by, and that has allowed him to then knock down some threes as well.
Yeah, and listen, you said we haven't talked about Banchero. We also haven't talked about a guy like Mark Williams. Theo John comes off the bench. Like they're deep. They're good at the rim. The one thing they don't do a lot is force turnovers, and they have issues guarding the 3. So I think they're going to need somebody else, and maybe that somebody else is a guy like AJ Griffin, who we saw light up Cuse at times this year. He can shoot the 3. I think they're going to need points elsewhere because UNC isn't a team that gives up a lot of second chance points. Those guys like Baycott and Manick can bang down low. So Banchero, Mark Williams, they're not going to get a lot of second chances. So if they don't put it in the first time, they're going to have trouble getting second chance points against a team like UNC.
What a great story St. Peter's was.
Oh.
And look, the stars just so perfectly aligned that as Shaheen Holloway was leading St. Peter's, the first 15 seed to ever reach the Elite Eight, Kevin Willard moves on from Seton Hall and takes the job at Maryland. Of course, as soon as that happened, the conversation was already, well, Shaheen's going to get a job somewhere else. He's not going to be at St. Peter's next year because of what he's done in this tournament. Then the Willard move comes, and everybody says, well, obviously he'll be the next head coach at Seton Hall. And I agreed.
Yep.
However, I did think there may be a bigger job out there for him. There may be a Power 5 conference job out there for him. As perfectly as it is aligned, Shaheen Holloway on Thursday is announced officially as the new head coach at Seton Hall, 22 years after he led the Pirates to the Sweet 16 as the point guard. A guy I remember watching. He's the program leader in assists. He was phenomenal as a point guard for them, and now at 45 years old, gets to be the head coach at his alma mater. Really cool.
Yeah, just such a cool story. An easy guy to root for. You see his family in the stands. And this is a team we see a lot of covering Siena and the MAC here in the Albany area. And if you had told me a month ago that this is going to be a team that was going to win a single game in the NCAA tournament, let alone 3 games in the NCAA tournament, I would have said you're crazy. And I don't know that anyone outside of that program would have said that. And if they did, then they're probably lying. But what he's done is incredible. They've played great basketball at the right time. They've gotten better all year long. They were playing their best basketball. And it's not like, I always say this, you can't just accidentally win games in the NCAA tournament. You can't accidentally win 3 games in the NCAA tournament. You can maybe accidentally win 1 and get lucky, but you can't beat a team like Kentucky, then come back and beat a ranked team in Murray State, and then win another game. It doesn't happen. So this is a legitimate team, and good for Shaheen Holloway. There probably was a better job. I don't know if it got offered to him, if people got in quick enough, but I think a lot of times the tug at the alma mater is stronger than anything else. So you want to take that chance, go to Seton Hall, see what you can do. And if you spend, 5 or 10 years there, get them back to the tournament, and then you want to move on, great. But the alma mater is tough. When that job opens, it's hard to turn that down.
And look, he's from Queens. He moved to Jersey when he was a kid. This is home for him. So I get it. It may not be the SEC or the ACC, but this is home for him. And I'm sure they'll pay him well enough. It's a 6-year contract that he's going to get from Seton Hall. And in the age of the transfer portal, Shaheen Holloway makes a move.
Anything can happen.
Who can he bring with him?
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying from St. Peter's. I just mean in general, like how, he becomes a really good recruiter here pretty quickly, I think, to the Seton Hall program.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting to see. He may bring 1 or 2 guys from St. Peter's with him, but you're now, you're stepping it up to the next level where you have to now compete with teams that are no longer considered mid-major. So he'll definitely have to recruit different types of kids. But if he recruits as well as he did at St. Peter's, he clearly recruited guys who could hack it with the best in the country. So maybe he can bring a team like he had at St. Peter's to Seton Hall and succeed. I guess there's no reason why he can't, because he played with a team like Kentucky who will have draft pick upon draft pick on that team and always does, and beat that team. So
one of the first rules about live TV or radio is never really ask a question you don't know the answer to, but I'll do it now anyway.
Okay, good.
Indefo, senior, any eligibility left?
AC. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
That's why I don't ask these questions without knowing the answer. But because as you talk about, hey, maybe he can bring some guys.
Grad transfer, any guy like that.
He'd obviously be one of them. Joel says tremendous opportunity for Duke on Saturday. Have to favor them. Yeah, no doubt.
Both of us do.
That's why Vegas has them as 4-point favorites.
As much as it hurts me.
The element of payback here, right? I mean, if Vegas was just looking at it in a vacuum, you'd say, wait a minute, North Carolina's an 8 seed. They're obviously playing very well. They're hot. They've beaten a 1 and a 4 on their way to the Final Four. And they blew Duke out the last time these two teams met. How could they be under? Well, because we're watching Duke's games as well, and they clearly are a team that is clicking on all cylinders right now. Joel also points out that this would have been Major League Baseball's opening day as we do the show on March 31st. Instead, it's a week later, and they'll still play a full 162, but now we've got to wait until April 6th, 7th to get opening day in for Major League Baseball.
The question is, would you be surprised if it's UNC? I'm not surprised by anything anymore. But I just think, like, how poetic would it be if Coach K's final game comes at the hands of UNC? Like, you can't, I understand the storybook ending that Duke fans want and that probably other basketball fans want is for Coach K to ride off into the sunset with his 6th national championship. That's not what I want. But how poetic would it be if he loses in the Final Four, that it's to his arch nemesis, his arch rival, and the team that he's probably played more than any other team in the country?
Yeah, that might be more irony and poetry. The other way if he is able to beat Carolina. If you were able to beat Carolina in the championship game in his absolute fight, there's nothing more poetic than that. Absolutely. But yeah, again, the irony that they've never met before in the NCAA tournament. And here they are, not in a second round matchup, in the Final Four in Krzyzewski's 42nd and final season.
It's so good
on the Blue Devils bench.
It's just so good. You can't write it any better. I'm pumped about it. And I hate, as a Syracuse fan, I hate both teams. I hate Duke more. But I'm so excited to watch this game just because of everything, the whole storyline, all the consequences that come out of it. It's just so good. We're going to be talking about it for weeks after, no matter what happens, one way or the other.
Will you be able to lock in at work and really watch that game?
Yeah, I think so. I hope so.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so too.
8:49, I hope so.
Yeah. We're live at Alpin Haus in Amsterdam. Boat, ski, pool, RV. They have everything in Amsterdam. At our specific location, though, you've got the boats, the kayaks, the jet skis, everything you could possibly want for fun on the water. Yeah, ATVs as well, as we get more into the spring weather here in the capital region. Eventually, we are on a Barletta party barge. This thing is incredible. As I said earlier in the show, more room than you have friends in your life. Come on down and check it out, especially in this age of wanting to do more outdoors, wanting to do more with friends and family. Alpin Haus is the perfect spot for that, and a partner here on Onorato and Company.
I mean, you could fit 15 easy on this boat. 15 easy. I'm not sure what the technical capacity is, but 15 easy. You could get 20 people, I'm sure, safely.
Yeah, find some little people, and pack them on here. That's for sure. You get plenty of room on this boat, the Barletta. All right, next week, probably a little bit earlier in the week, as Ash and I are going to take a little vacay.
Getting out of here.
We will still have the show for you, Onorato and Company, as we will be into Major League Baseball season by the time we do our normal Thursday show slot.
And we'll have a national champ.
And we will have a national champ. We will also, have the first round of the Masters next Thursday. Will Tiger Woods play? Quickly, Ash. He played a round of 18 practice at Augusta. Do you think Woods tees it up for this Masters?
I don't think so. That's going to be my short and dirty answer. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. My guess is he probably woke up the next day and thought, that's a difficult course to walk. I did it once, but now I'm potentially going to have to do it 4 straight days. I'd love for him to be out there, but I don't think it's the smart move. And so I'm going to say no Tiger at Augusta. Still, the Masters is always such a great thing, and we'll be keyed into that for sure. Thanks for watching, everybody. Onorato and Company on the News Channel 13 Facebook page.